Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, The Shadows of Change, where today we are being pursued by quite a large number of Dark Elves, and I think that it might be, this might be a moment of retreat. This might be a good time to fall back. The really good news is that as long as they're really actively pursuing Mother Ostankia, they're not stopping the ancient city of Quintex from building up, and when we get to 1 point of population surplus, you know, we can build up and like put a proper garrison structure on here and maybe make it something that can hold out against a little bit of an attack. Now, like I said last episode, if you occupy a settlement after defeating it in combat, that does eat the rest of your movement for the turn. So if we were to turn around and just take the moon shard back, we would for sure be suffering these two armies just showing up and wrecking us. And honestly, our army's not in very good shape. I think we need a little bit of recovery time. So
Not even worth cursing.
I might run all the way to Arnheim, actually. Yeah, you can see here the reinforcement line. If we were to run over and attack Hellasfer, Marathi's army would show up and punish us badly. And as much as I don't necessarily think these low-level Dark Elf troops are very good, and especially not against the mountain of spiders, the amount of damage we have on them and their raw, like just sheer numbers, makes, I think, engaging in combat here kind of dodgy. Let's go ahead and fall back, go to a friendly city, get a turn of real replenishment on our army here.
The motherland's children are overlooked.
The Bleakhold Fortress can... Let's see, it would be 3,000 to improve the animal den. Also, this creates a little bit of fur resource production, which will increase the value of our... Yeah, that's cool. That'll increase the value of our trade route. So that'll be nice, because we sure are in need of sources of income at this moment. Upgrading this will add us another 20 growth, which is significant, but at this point, I think we want to hold on for cash reasons. I think the next upgrade we want to pursue is this. So let's not spend any money. I think this is just going to be a fairly simple turn. Do we want to do some of this stuff? So let's see here. We have yellow and blue available. So we can... The only thing we can do is this curse. So we'll also be dropping their leadership by 8 because of the wooden Urson totem we're using. And their charge bonus by 25% because of the Cold One's Fang.
Spin a ring around their price, for
Okay.
they have tasted paradise.
So we have stored up this curse. How do I... Back on this menu, how does one apply a
I refuse
curse?
this insolence.
Is it something that we do in battle, or there's a help button in here? Okay. Incantations are created within the Witch's Hut panel to prepare blessings and curses for units in battles. They are applied to units in the pre-battle panel by dragging their icons directly onto unit cards. Okay. And we can only use each trinket once per turn. So we could prep several instances of Whiff of Madness if we wanted to. And the only cost is the Spirit Essence. Okay.
Curdling milk.
Alright, so I'm just making sure all of our equipment is equipped, all of our followers are attached here, making sure we have all of our stuff going. Okay, I think we're as ready as we're getting. Now, they might just turn around and go to Quintex right now, but they won't get there for a turn. We'll be able to... If they turn around and go to Quintex, we go reclaim the Moon Shard, for sure. I'm really bummed out about this. I was hoping to have a nice, powerful ally at my back, and it seems like these poor elves are going to get just ripped apart. What a bummer. So unfortunately, with Mother Ostankia back here, we no longer have vision of those armies. Okay, Marathi's advancing to the Moon Shard. The other one is missing. Probably headed back to some settlement westward to heal up.
You're not dead yet.
Another group of high elves would like to trade. Yeah, I would love some income. When the AI comes to you with an agreement, it's almost always something that they feel positively about. So you can pop open the panel here and just like ask them for a little bit of money to offset their interest. Every little bit helps at this point in the game. Okay, and we can see the Hexawaddle player down here. We have there's some natural aversion. Lizardmen pretty much don't like anyone who isn't a lizardman, but our common enemy should overcome that fairly quickly. So Mother Ostankia spending multiple turns in a province where the control is not so good, gets a little bit of a control bonus to her province. If we get our Moon Shard back, we'll receive 1,500 gold, which is awesome. And we can talk about control a little bit now, I think. So this is a number that ranges from negative 100 to positive 100. That just kind of indicates a level of political, social, and ecological harmony. When control is high, the region gets various kinds of buffs. When control is low, you can see we have a growth debuff and we have a recruitment cost increase for armies in this province. But the number is trending upward now, in large part because we have a significant military presence in one of the settlements. Obviously, that's a thing that's going to change. If the number gets all the way to negative 100, you will face a rebellion, and a rebel army will spawn outside one of the cities. So that can be a very bad thing. Right now, we are suffering pretty badly here, in part due to the corruption, in part due to the fact that settlements in this province have been changing hands. That's what that provincial instability number is. And then, of course, there is just like a flat -4 every turn for the difficulty level we're playing on, which, in case, I don't think I was explicit about that. But where do you see that? We're playing on very hard, I believe. There's a, campaign difficulty, battle difficulty, just so that's clear. So now we have a decision to make.
The spirits agree.
Ostankia could use a little bit more healing time. What does it look like outside the city? We still recover a lot. What I might try to do here is set our first ambush. So ambush mode makes you invisible on the map, in theory, to other players. And if an enemy army walks within a certain distance, walks within that little red circle range of your army while you're in ambush mode, you have the ability to jump out and surprise them. When a player gets a unit, an army or a map agent close enough to you to see you, they'll roll in like an awareness check. Basically, there's a little dice roll that happens behind the scenes, and there's a chance that they will reveal your army. So you can see, like, when we mouse over here, in this location on the open road, we have an ambush success chance of 45%. If we take it to the trees, we can get a little bit better. And I think that's what I'm going to do. We're going to stay on our side of the province line, so we're still getting reasonable replenishment. Going into ambush mode here. We're close enough to the road that we're like completely covering it. So if Marathi tries to run up here via the route that includes the road, we'll catch her army in the ambush. And if not, I guess we'll see what happens. And like I said, I think it's worth going ahead and getting the animal den. We need to upgrade our units. We need to have better stuff. I know I definitely do want to get this online, but it may have to wait a little while because like 6,000 is a lot of gold.
The fear of Hexes
And for the moment, while we are recovering, we
us
just kind of don't have a ton to do.
obedience.
Oh, I was going to make another incantation. Let's see. Marathi is, in fact, just leaving, which is another thing that, you know, them thinking I don't have an army in this location is good for. So I think that's a full March mode move, which means we can take the Moonshard back safely because they can't move back here and initiate combat on it next turn. Because you cannot initiate, you cannot start a battle, you cannot initiate combat while you are in March mode. So let's reclaim our province, see if we can't recover a little bit more HP sitting inside of the Moonshard, and then we can press on them next turn. The Winds of Pain. The world yields to those who master the winds of magic. Great bolts from the heavens scour souls from bodies, whilst raging torrents of fire rend the very flesh from bone. Magic can rip enemies into a dozen pieces or leave nothing but an ugly bloodstain where once they stood, or sometimes it does that to your wizard, as I mentioned before. The power granted by the Cataclysm many eons ago can be harnessed now to bring ruin and destruction, etc. The point is, Winds of Magic power reserve up for everybody for 5 turns. The wind is out there and it's hungry and it wants blood. Alright, recruit an additional lord to get some spirit essence. We're totally going to do that eventually. However, each additional lord increases the upkeep cost of all of your units by a certain amount. So, you know, like I said, we'll get there. I don't think financially we're in a place where that makes any sense to do
It's
right
like
now.
that.
Okay, they have left basically no defense here.
Reduce them to shadow.
Let's just go ahead and take a... Okay, so yeah, my curses are up here. Cool. Let's just go ahead and take a real easy auto-resolve. Should take essentially no damage. We found a Shrieking Blade. Okay, that's cool. A little bit of money, some soul essence, and we are just reoccupying.
Shall raise a watchtower here.
Okay, province resecured. We've unlocked another regiment of renown by continuing to level up our legendary lord. This one is a gun unit, which we don't ordinarily have access to yet, so that's definitely interesting. 1,500 gold for us. Speaking of military units, yeah, you must control Kislev, Erengrad, or Prague, or be allied with their Kislevite owner in order to construct our faction's normal military units. Until we do such a thing, we don't have access to that. We don't have access to bear sleds. We don't have access to the tier 4 or 5 versions of absolutely anything. Oh no, okay, it shows an explicit marker when the settlement can't get high enough level. So we could get bears and stuff. This requires, yeah, Kislevite stuff. And then obviously this has to be a settlement where we can get a level 4 building. But yeah, so for the moment we are stuck on things in the woods, giant spiders, etc. I say stuck, but like we're doing pretty well. We're doing quite well off of these things. So before we decide if we're going to do anything there, let's go ahead and take this level up. Let's finish the Curse of Anraher. Overcasting it increases the effect area. You can see that 35% miscast chance because we have a little modifier due to being a master level caster. We'll just take that point. Legendary lords who can cast spells, generally they have the ability to like max out the spell and get all of the bonuses to it in only 2 skill points, as opposed to, you know, hero level casters who can get the same benefits but have to spend 3 points in each spell to get there. All right. So Hellisfer is recruiting to try to refill the losses and healing up here. This was their territory, remember? Oh, she ran back far enough that if I took the Moonshard, she'd still be in her own territory. That's smart.
Spirits, I see.
So we have access to a couple of improved ranged units. I think let's do something here. I'm gonna combine all of these units together. Just merge.
Say hag at your peril.
And then disband this one
Troops win battles,
to make room
but
for
magic
these vastly
wins
superior
wars.
troops here. So let's talk about how these are different. The wolf hearts, relative to a normal unit of Akshina ambushers, you can see, actually, let me do this the other way. I will select you and mouse over you. So the wolf hearts have extra leadership, melee attack, melee defense, and missile strength showing here. That stuff is just from the fact that they are level 9. All regiments of renown are automatically level 9. They also have a little bit of bonus HP, but you can see they have an extra ability. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Which ability is it? It's that first one. Pack trap. Oh, they have 3 uses of a trap that prevents an enemy unit from moving for 25 seconds. Hey, that's pretty handy. So every regiment of renown is like this. They have some important special difference from the base type of that unit. Boydanov's Brawlers are a version of this gun unit that is much better at melee combat. I know that one already.
Bring in the harvest.
All right, I'm feeling a little bit better about this army overall.
Call me witch.
We can throw down another. We can throw down a commandment again. We really don't have that much income. Like plus 5% of what we're pulling right now, I don't think is significant enough to matter. So why don't we reduce the movement range for any enemy that starts within our lands? We already have one such effect running, but a second one probably will be helpful. And then I'm going to remember to create another one of these. You know, we may want to curse a bunch of their stuff. All right. So we have 2 building slots open in Arnheim right now. My feeling is that we should probably build whatever building produces the largest amount of money. So we can get 100 income here. This is worth 75 income by itself, though. Does the income go up? It does. Honestly, this is probably the right building to build in this slot. We don't have the ability to recruit more ambushers right this moment. And obviously, I'd prefer them over the normal bow infantry. And then on top of that, income. Yeah. So we'll hold off for that. Let's see how they choose to respond to this. 2 turns until this has enough population to pursue this upgrade, although obviously we're going to need a little bit of money. If we can get this to tier 2, I think it'll be very helpful, because we'll be able to build the basic garrison structure. I don't know. We'll see. It may not even happen that we make it to tier 2 with the money that we would need. Yeah, Marathi's headed there at full steam. Hellisfur will be right behind. And that city cannot stand up to Marathi by itself right now. But we've gotten some decent cash out of it, and also we've weakened her empire significantly by taking away their capital. You know, some of her recruitment buildings were there. So, economic damage, it's something. And it's given us time to rebuild and recover. That's a weird thing for the camera to do in that circumstance. Here, we can, let me do something real quick here. Animation speed for all allied factions and all enemy factions and also all the other factions. Show their units animating at the highest possible speed during the enemy turn cycle. All right, the Dracula Coven has been obliterated. I don't even know who those people are. All right, weapon strength up for our things in the woods. And if we can beat Marathi, we'll get ourselves 1,000 gold and also a relic sword, which is like fine. That's a fine weapon.
I will not.
Also, defeating legendary lords in combat earns permanent upgrades. Each legendary lord has a different buff that they give, so I would like to get some of that going.
The land calls to me there.
All right, do we know where? Okay, yeah, Halisfur is just right behind her.
Do
Makes
not
sense.
order me.
I think we're in a position where they can't quite just turn around and hit us. And I don't really want to push forward any further. I want to stay on our side of the line because actually, never mind. Oh yeah, we have one unit that's still slightly damaged. And the difference in movement, you know, like, I think losing out on this little bit of healing is not worth covering that distance right now. Okay, so now what? We're pretty far off of double-double. We can improve the melee defense of our ranged units. We could... What's interesting here? Research rate up everywhere is cool. Diplomatic relations with the entire empire would be interesting. We don't have any of these units right now, but we might eventually. And getting a bonus to the recruit rank of new lords is certainly interesting. Frenzy for Warbear Riders. I'm looking for something that is powerful enough to compel me into a particular line of research. Massive casualty replenishment rate up for elemental bears and incarnate elementals of beasts. That's kind of interesting. Recruit rank +2 for all infantry and cavalry. Also interesting. Ooh, range up and reload time reduction for all your range stuff. This looks like the one. This is kind of an exciting branch. So we just need 5 of the text from above that. So campaign line of sight up. Income from trade tariffs is pretty weak right now, so we probably don't care so much about that. Yeah, dramatic increase in port income. We don't yet have our little Grom, but when we get one, we're going to want this. Yeah, okay. Let's start with the Erengrad Code, I think, is like our immediate concern, and then eventually we'll push through
We prepare.
Spirit of Erengrad here.
Waits for no one. These sparks. Joy.
I'm gonna do a few more of these. I don't know exactly how many we need, but all right, we have a quest to consume 100 spirit essence. We're at 55 right now, so we're working on it. We have absolutely zero hope of defending Quintex. When they attack Quintex, we will just cede it to them immediately. Close defeat, huh?
The motherland never falters.
Hard to imagine. Hard to imagine us getting anywhere near defeating that force. All right, so they've taken it back. We did fuck up their economy, and also we fucked up their corruption in the region, which is of value. And we might be able to do it again here. Because now that they've moved all of their forces all the way to the north, we can hit the building that's we can hit the settlement that's just south of the fork, and maybe do a little bit more harassment there. All right, how far can you move, Marathi? Not far enough to get to the petrified forest. You can see this is her normal movement range. This is march mode over here.
Heed my hexes.
It looks like I can just barely get there in one turn.
Feed the forest rage.
Oh, no, never mind. There's a tiny, tiny little bit of red arrow.
People calls
Aw, that's annoying.
warrior.
Yeah, that's annoying. Well,
What is this foolishness?
they can't threaten us here. I think I'll just... Yeah, this is fine.
The motherland's children are overlooked.
So we're waiting for 2,500, was it? Yeah. All right. We definitely want to be able to take this building to tier 4 for more incarnate elementals, so... Important to build it in the right settlement.
Seize you, meddler.
And we'll get there naturally on money without doing anything else in a couple of turns. But if we could win a battle somewhere safely, that would certainly increase the payout. Okay, so yeah, just full march mode to reinforce. I'm pretty annoyed about the way that worked out. If I could have ambushed, that would have been better, but I didn't realize we weren't going to be able to attack until we had spent so much movement that we couldn't pay the cost of switching into ambush mode, which is 25% of your maximum move. Well, what we need to do right now is separate these two armies. We can probably take either of them individually. We cannot take the two of them together, though. A self-proclaimed truth speaker has been touring the Stanitsas, spreading a message of faithlessness. This blasphemer seduces our citizens into believing that the great orthodoxy is merely a political construct designed to keep them in line. That's okay. That's probably true. We don't want them saying that. Clearly, nothing could be further from the truth, but we must act. So we could arrange a little accident. The Ekshina can resolve this discreetly. Doing so will lower our treasury by 500 gold. We'll buy the silence of all who ask questions, or we could do nothing. And it's unclear what the sort of long-term ramifications of this will be. I'm going to do nothing, I guess. If our response is too brazen, there will be those who feel we only prove his point, his correct point. It would be better to quietly inform him that his current course of action is unwise. I don't know what this does, but right now we're like pretty desperate for the money. So let's not spend it.
Spirits, I see. The
All right.
spirits, my guides.
I'm going to fall back to here.
There is
We're going to
a
go into ambush mode. We took some damage at the end of the turn there. Because they have managed to get their Slaanesh corruption up high enough that attrition damage kicked in. So that's why we have a little bit of recovering to do.
The offspring of chaos disappear. For this
How are we doing in the eyes of the lizard men? Still pretty negative, honestly. Yeah, they're really not into the idea of trade or non-aggression pacts. Okay, we'll win them over. We have a common foe, and that is perhaps
secret of
one
my
of the
power,
greatest resources you could have.
it is easy to discover.
Ooh, there is a shipwreck over there.
Crawl inside.
We could, instead of trying to set an ambush, just run for the coast and go get the shipwreck. It's probably quite a lot of gold. Now, we'll try a turn of this ambush plan. And we'll see
I refuse
we'll
this.
see how that really works out.
The great gods in the north sending the lost
foe
together.
is lost.
Live for that fight.
All right, is 4 enough? I don't know, honestly. So it's obviously going to be a lot easier for us to... Aha! The fool. She ran right into our ambush. The enemy failed to spot your ambush. Attack now, and the element of surprise will give you the upper hand. I think I'm inclined to just take this auto-resolve victory. In general, I think the auto-resolver gives you a pretty significant bonus to your effectiveness in an ambush that is not always reflective of what should actually occur. So we'll take this win. It is a lot of damage to our units overall, but her army is completely wiped out. We got almost 4,000 gold worth of treasure just from them directly. We found this war banner, 37 spirit essence, and then heal army up some or get another 1,300 by pardoning the captives. It's not very much replenishment overall. I think we're going to take the money. That's a lot of money for us right at this moment. Now Hellisfer is going to attack, and we're going to fall back further into our territory here. I tried to place us such that they would not have enough movement to follow us if we did have to do a fallback there, and I think it worked. I think she couldn't come the rest of the way, because if she could have, she would have, right? So we are going to get a burst of replenishment at the beginning of the turn, because we are still in friendly territory, and then we must consider attacking Hellisfer immediately. If we could break Hellisfer's army now, then they will have functionally no military. That ambush and them actually sticking it out in our territory is a big deal. So taking down Marathi has made us the Hag Butcher. That's a hag who is a butcher. Reduction in action cost for all of our heroes, and a chance for our heroes to increased chance for our heroes to wound those who would aggress against them. Also, a Kossar ranking up in territory belonging to Kislev. Bonus movement range, always nice. We got that relic sword.
Curdling milk.
So I do think we should probably equip this Toll Keeper. And then, like, do I want to keep the Shrieking Blade? She already causes fear. Yeah, she still has causes fear. So the Shrieking Blade was giving us causes terror as well. We already have magical attacks, so that part of it wasn't really doing anything for us. So I think that's a reasonable change to make. Let's take an additional reduction in our miscast chance.
Here goes a trinkets.
Get that down to like 20% on any spell that we've properly upgraded. What is this? Upheaval of Earth. So it reduces corruption in the local province and gives you 1 charge of the Assault of Stone spell. So bound spells like this do not cost any magic to use. It's just free magic. And then you gained another point here. Almost all characters, so legendary lords are already functionally immortal in the sense that while they can die in battle, all it actually does is remove them from the field for 5 turns while they recover. Your non-legendary lords and heroes can get that same deal by making it to level 20, at which point they automatically receive the immortality skill. So that's the thing we're thinking about. I guess let's just start learning your magic line, because it seems like you might be remaining a functional attack unit. So Hellisfer is not built up all the way. Our units are not in the best shape, but I think the opportunity presented here, like if we can break Hellisfer, then they have nothing, and we just push, and really like tear stuff up. I think we got to go for it. There's nothing that we can recruit that will arrive immediately. Like, yeah, we should just.
Spirits bring death.
All right, they suspect a valiant defeat. The AI. I think they're probably mistaken. Let's go for a leadership boost on our things in the woods. So we have this war banner, and then let's also apply some curses. So first of all, your cavalry units take that big hit to their charge bonus, and also melee defense and the possibility of rampaging in melee. It's also a leadership reduction, so units are more likely to break and run. I might want to curse the heroes. Try to get their melee defense down to a place where they can take damage more readily. All right, and let's see. Let's try to make it happen. They think valiant defeat. I think we can do better. And it is worth, I think, potentially losing some units here. Like, a victory in this battle would be so, so big for us. They have pretty much the same army we fought last time, right? They have more cavalry this time. They have those shades. This time, 6 units of dark shards, but only 4 of them have shields. So that helps a little bit with us, using our ranged weapons against them, obviously. And our characters are only better than they were before. Mother Estankia has leveled up a bunch. I always forget the name of the hag, but the hag has leveled up a bunch as well. All right, so... Sorry, let's get all of the spiders grouped up in the trees over here. Things in the woods, in these woods, where they should be, where the things go. We have to consider line of sight a little bit because the Streltsy here are an actual gun unit. So actually, maybe we'd be better off setting up over here. In which case, obviously, my spiders need to be... Yeah, this isn't terrible. If we set up across like there. And then the ambushers over here, ready to, ambush, ready to do that thing. Actually, we could set up like half of the spiders out there as well. Here, let's command group this stuff. So we try to draw them forward and then we hit them in the side. You guys can be command group 1. The incarnate elemental of beasts can be just kind of like over here waiting. Things in the woods should also be right about here. Okay, let's see if this works. So we have our Assault of Stone, which has a range of 200 meters, and it's just boom damage. I'm gonna run up and try to fire this off.
About Mother Estankia and her curses and her cauldron.
Mother Estankia is very chatty.
Because the enemy does not. But I will teach them well. I will aim.
Wow, that spell takes a million years to go off. They had so much time to react to that.
The hag knows. I am no hag.
We're just gonna gently prod these units. And also crows.
Go, Beowulfs.
So she can fire while moving. We want to just like
Sledding
bait them basically.
at my back.
Okay, so it looks like for some reason their horse units decided to run into the woods, despite the fact that doesn't make any sense for their horse units to do. Almost like they totally, absolutely know where my ranged units are, even though they're definitely not supposed to. That's actually pretty inconvenient. Yeah, because like their ranged units really aren't in a position where I'm ready to charge them yet. We needed them to come forward more, and their cavalry randomly running into the forest to die is gonna screw things up pretty badly, I think. Actually, you guys should focus on the ranged Dark Riders. So the melee ones are going down. They're gonna see. Hey, what's the range on that that ability makes things not move? Okay, it's got a pretty big application range. I think I'm going to turn her around and we're just going to charge this master, and when we hit him, we'll enfeebling foe.
Shadows consume.
Oh, he wants to do this. He does not understand how bad his stats are about to be. Right, disengage, disengage. Okay, let's start making the moves because now we have to. So definitely want to make sure we are charging their ranged as much as possible here. But somebody's got to kill these horses too. It's your job. Here's that other unit of spiders. Go catch those bleak swords. Their dark riders are already broken and fleeing. So that's great news for us. And again, if we lose spiders here, it is sad, but I think the upside of defeating this army is so great that it is worth paying a pretty significant amount of our total HP to do so. All right, armor, melee defense, healing. Let's let us go nuts in defense here. Y'all just need... Actually, I told them to run up the hill, but just like back up a little bit. And we also got to remember we have... I'm actually going to summon them now. We have a unit of things in the woods that could be used to buy our ranged units some time. Alright, y'all. Engaging in combat directly with Zoram is probably a losing proposition. Go after their other stuff. Do I need to fire off any other buffs or debuffs or anything? Probably not right this second. Yeah, alright. So the spiders are getting their charge on.
Obey the orthodoxy!
By my hand.
Okay, we're seeing a pretty large amount of panic from the enemy units, which is not a big surprise. That's how that tends to go. The spiders are in and doing their thing. Enemy morale is suffering greatly. There's that unit of horses broken. This unit of horses is doing exactly what I thought they were going to do, and you're just going to cut that shit out while we refocus on this ranged unit. All right. A lot of people got hung up on enemy units that are no longer actually a threat. This is the summoned unit. I'm going to have them ride really deep. Just go as hard as possible into the enemy, into whatever is still shooting, and try to draw attention, basically. Those things are running. You definitely need to get over here and cause havoc. Just like do harm. Ignore all else. Simply do harm. She shouldn't be fighting in melee if we can avoid it. We panicked this dude. All right, let's go healing on the spiders, and I think we're just gonna have Ostankia push to eliminate this guy if we can after she gets the spell cast off. Okay, there it
Without
is.
question.
To battle!
Moving.
Don't want you engaged in direct melee.
Move stacks.
The guy ran back into combat, and as soon as he got close to us, his leadership dropped out again because he's experiencing the fear. He's like, oh, right, I was running for a reason. Silly me. Okay, good. Sorry, I know I pause a lot in combat, but it's just, I get overwhelmed and lose track of elements easily if I don't do it that way.
March them.
That'll be the summons.
In Kislev's name!
Take me there.
All right, volley of gunfire showing the cavalry who's boss. They are trying to use elf magic to panic us. You probably want to withdraw if you can. Yeah, like withdraw behind the oncoming counter push. Or actually, you know what? Just go after the wizard. Go eat that wizard. These things in the woods. I mean, most of their units are broken at this point. Yeah, go harass those Dark Riders. You won't actually be able to keep up with them, but you can at least make them leave. And the time has maybe come to kill their lord and break this well and truly. We'll just potion of toughness again, and we have the mana for a great big crow. Yeah, the overcast version that has such a long casting range. Okay. So most of their units are breaking and running at this point. The Streltsy did successfully break that cavalry unit.
You shall die.
Get him. Alright, my Sheena sadly have Dark Riders all in their business. Here, you guys. Okay, that guy's good and permanently broken now. And that's a victory. Didn't lose a single unit. They call it close. I don't know about that. We're about to see some casualty numbers that suggest that it is perhaps the other thing. Yeah, those normal Dark Riders, they really don't have good combat stats at all, and they're very reliant on that charge bonus to be able to fight, which is what makes it so obviously bad for them to ride into the trees, because you can't get a clean charge off in the forest unless you have the trait that lets you move unimpeded through trees. Our spiders have it, their horses don't. So in trees, even like in a actually densely forested area like that, even up against enemies who are not adapted for the terrain, Dark Riders are basically garbage. They're just like completely unable to get any kills. So very, very questionable move from them riding into the forest on us. This is great news, though. This army, what's left of this army, will retreat from the battlefield. The army will not be completely annihilated by the fact that we attacked them, but they're in horrible shape, and we are not going to let them get away. All right, fair amount of money. I think we got to take the replenishment here, however much it is, because we're going to push to follow them.
You are myself.
All right. Mother Ostanka is becoming audacious, personally involving herself in combat during battles. We found another veteran warrior, but we already have one of those, obviously. Ooh, armor of silvered steel, a shield of sacrifice. We found a lot of stuff here. And we have, in fact, 110 battles with a hero character, so that's where that shield came from. Okay,
Mother Ostankia.
let's take our level up here. So if we spend one more point inside this box, we can unlock Arcane Conduit. There are powerful things along this line, and I totally want to get them, and we're totally going to, but I am going to get Arcane Conduit first. So let's take magical reserves. Do I want Occam's Mind Razor, like the basic version of it? Because we're not going to want to spend another skill point in here for a while. No, let's take the passive buff.
Help is always appreciated.
And then, yeah, absolutely, we will finish the job. It'll give us a low casualty auto resolve victory here. Let's just take that.
Dead.
The amount of replenishment we get from this, mousing over it, you can see like a tiny little bit of yellow appears on those spiders. That seems pretty worthless. Let's take 1,000 gold instead.
Kill those with their hands tied.
Okay. We permanently killed all of those characters. Marathi will be back. None of those other ones will. Got another plus control person. This time a vodka distiller. Leveled up enough to get access to another Regiment of Renown, which we will absolutely take. Let's grab Arcane Conduit, like I said we were gonna.
I suppose these would be useful.
You can learn Wild Heart, so every time you cast, we get a power recharge boost. Not that you're going to be doing a huge amount of casting. Also, we should give you some armor, because we've got a bunch of armor now. So just a raw 20 taking you from 30 to 50 is pretty significant. This is 15, but it has the other effect. You know what? Yeah. Also, you may as well have the Shrieking Blade. The ability to cause terror will cause melee units that are in contact with you to just like break and run for a little while, so every so often, and that's something that should actually be very helpful for Talika, because she is not good at remaining in combat with enemies. Okay. So I think let us bring on that new Regiment of Renown. This is a proper armored infantry unit. Wielding dual swords, so 45 attack, 40 defense, plus 5 versus infantry, and they have this frostbite effect on their attacks. And they have frenzy, so as long as their leadership is high, they have all these bonus stats. And they are immune to psychology. That means fear and terror both do not affect them. Yeah, this seems like a great unit. We definitely want this in here. And I dare say we are probably going to drop a unit of Kossars to make that work. So let's merge y'all up to get a slot, and
Magic is not the only way.
there we go. That's something.
Mother's work.
So we could go into March mode and advance a little bit further here, but I think I do want to end the turn inside our own territory. And if we're going to end the turn inside our own territory,
Bring in the harvest.
we could do a little bit of recruitment. We could pull in some bears or something. Do I want bears? Like, we could drop the rest of these ranged units and have our only ranged units be the ambushers, the guns, and the hags. Because, like, these things are not really doing a lot of work for us right now. We only have 2 slots here, so I guess what we would do is we would, like, merge these 2 units. Hold on. That's not what I meant. Yeah, let's do a merge here. Fire the weaker units
Troops.
so that we have the 1 unit of Kossars we have is at least at full strength.
Wars.
And then, is it 2 units of bears? Is it 2 units of feral ice bears? I think so. let's give these things a try. They only take 1 turn to recruit. We're not moving right now anyway. And then that leaves us with enough money to do some other stuff. First of all, Ostankia's hut, obviously, big value. And it gives that garrison a little bit of an extra boost in case these dudes from Hag Hall come hunting. And we can pick up this recruitment structure like we wanted. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. We still have a little bit of money left over, and we're going to be a threat very, very quickly here. Is Hexoatl feeling any better about me since I'm winning battles? No, actually, the amount of approval we're getting for military actions against the Cult of Pleasure has actually gone down with them. I don't think they're paying attention, to be fair. Let's definitely start rebuilding our supply of curses. So you just have to defeat 1 such army in battle, right? We can form an alliance with them. I'm trying to see where are the lizardmen on here? Demons of Chaos. Okay, if we got the High Elves on board, that would give us, if we formed an alliance with that High Elf faction to the east, that would give us a purple that does spell resistance stuff. At which point we would have access to the Bear's Bulwark. Big charge bonus. The increase in mass will actually affect like the force with which they hit enemies when charging. It determines things like how many enemies you throw back and how far. The additional damage bonus the charge itself deals. So that's meaningful. And then also purple blue, which is... Okay, that's really strong. This incantation requires 3 slots, however. And it requires Brindaraz as well. So we'd have to figure out some dwarves. All right, well, these are all things we're gonna get to. For now, let us run this end of turn sequence.
Send a woman to do.
I am very pleased with how that ambush turned out. That really turned the whole front around. Marathi's going to sue for peace. She's going to try to buy herself out of the problem that she's in. We are not going to accept. My guess is we're probably not going to be able to like eliminate her faction here, but we can probably do a whole lot of damage. So we probably want to take this settlement first. Just because we're not going to be able to reach Quintex this turn. But I wonder if we should just go for it anyway, because, like, if we can stop them from putting together that army... Oh, what's up?
I have foreseen. The land speaks to me.
Mother Ostankia's eyes glaze over as she is suddenly overcome by a torrent of whispers from the spirits of the land. In hallucination, she scries a cave somewhere in the distant mountains, where deep within sits a cavern of rare ice crystals, a place thrumming with the ancient magic of the land, concentrated in dozens of glimmering stalagmites and stalactites. A single shard of one of these formations could be a powerful centerpiece for Ostankia's crown, augmenting her influence over the spirits who facilitate her frightening spells. Yet, as she drifts out of her vision, she also makes out a cacophony of monstrous roars, shrieks, and howls. Something feral awaits. Okay, so this is a quest battle here. We'll be up against dark elves with bears. And we can teleport to this and try it at any time. We don't actually have to run all the way down here. We'll get a dramatic casualty replenishment effect for 2 turns if we win. The Crown of Claws, which gives 20% missile resistance to all allies within 35 meters all the time. That's cool. Plus 25 to herself, plus 25% spell resistance. This is neat, but it's definitely not like a super pressing concern. And we don't know exactly what we're up against. There will be reinforcements. So we'll worry about that later. Our lens crafting has come along here. We're actually pretty close to being able to afford double, and I do think that we should probably try to save our soul energy for that to some degree. Let's also get Norse hatred. This is not even a thing that's relevant for right now, but the Ehrengrad code totally will be.
We prepare. Chaos waits for no one.
That's probably true. So, Mother Astankia can reach the Petrified Forest right now. We can't reach Quintex. They're just starting to muster an army there. If we ran down here and we claimed the Petrified Forest, and we got ourselves a turn of inside of a friendly settlement replenishment, I think that would be really helpful. Plus, it would mean we would own a settlement inside the region, and we could do a purification bomb. Yeah, you know what? Let's go get it.
Die.
All right, low casualties, because obviously this is not a real army. Do I want to loot and occupy, or do I just want to occupy? You know, let's just take the occupation. The spirit essence is cool, but it's not enough to get us to the threshold anyway. Yeah, we'll keep whatever's here functional for the moment. The Scroll of Aramar gives a single cast of Fear of Aramar, which is, I mean, that's a pretty hefty leadership reduction. That is a lot of fear. But I don't know that it's better than the arcane items that we're equipping already.
Gullible fools! Call me witch?
All right, we got our arcane conduit, so let's start looking at this other stuff. Embodiment of the Forest gives the Woodsman attribute to every unit in the army, even if they wouldn't otherwise have it. That's pretty cool. 10% physical resist to Astankia herself. This nerfs chaos attrition very seriously. That's pretty cool. Physical resist and charge bonus up for basically all of the units in our army. That's really strong. I think that's probably... Let's have a look at this stuff. So, 100% bonus duration to spells that debuff our enemies, cost down by a pretty significant amount for such spells. And we get the Spirit Bear, which you might expect would be like a summon of some kind, but in fact is a magic missile spell. And getting that opens up this box, so we get... Okay, extra magic and spirit essence cost reduction. Unlocks the ability to recruit more hag witches, which is cool, I guess. Charge bonus plus 18 for every unit in the army as long as we're inside our own territory, and a big ambush success chance buff. This gives us a cooldown reduction to our weird healing spell. And it all ends with Folklore. Her attacks cause the effect of Curse of Anraher. Spirit Bear gains 3 seconds of, like 200 damage per second. That is very significant. And her whole army causes fear when fighting against humans. Almost everything in the army causes fear naturally, so that's less exciting. I do like that stuff, but let's take Wildlings first. That's going to be very close to a flat 10% damage resistance for the entire army. Not to mention the charge bonus.
Here goes the trinkets.
All right, and we're getting some good replenishment here.
Heed my hexes.
We have a slot open. Is it worth spending 1,000 gold right now to generate this income in a place where I'm not like confident that we will be keeping it? Oh, you know what? It might be a good idea to do something like this. Pick up something that improves casualty replenishment around here so that we can heal quickly.
Who calls?
And then we have a turn here where we're just sitting in
Kislev's strength.
We're
is
just sitting in
endurance.
this settlement. Oh, I was going to say, do we want to maybe combine some of these units of spiders and then hire in new units, which would come in at full value? But right, we don't have the recruitment buildings for that. The only thing we can recruit in a single turn is Kossars. Stuff coming in through global takes too long. Okay, so yeah, we're not, in fact, making any changes there. I am going to go ahead and purification chant this settlement.
Salyak, mother.
So it purifies the whole province, which means we've like bombed the ancient city of Quintex back down to 0 corruption. This will make it a lot easier for us to move around. And I think the chaos corruption does help them in some way, but I'm not really sure what that is. It's a thing we can worry about later. So for the moment, we're just watching them gather. All right, they got heroes running around the map here, ready to harass us at a moment's notice. The elves keep trading White Peak back and forth with the zombie pirates. You know, after we get Marathi down, maybe we can go help with that. I would love to go help with that. Gilgallion of the Illyrion faction would like a non-aggression pact. I would love that, but I think you want it badly enough to pay me for it. Okay, well, that is technically money. I guess it'll do. Was that one of their ships sailing west that we just saw? They better not think they're getting any of these settlements. Out of the forest they emerge, the horned beasts that stand upright in a vile parody of man. They are the cloven ones, the children of chaos, and they have come for us to tear down our civilization. Man, I do not need beastmen right now. This is a... Okay, Leandra is looking like she's trying to make landfall near my stuff? That's weird, but I don't really know what to make of that, actually.
The lands protect.
Wow, yeah, look at how good the replenishment rate is now with that building finished. Okay, I think we have to advance on Quintex, probably. But we could, like, stop just on this side of the line and take a turn of replenishment. We can worry about Ak Ruinclaw later. It'll take a turn or two for him to decide what he wants to do in terms of, like, declaring war on people. I want to have Quintex conquered and have Mother Astankia back down here by the time that happens. We can probably manage that. That, however, is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I am very, very pleased with the way this war against the Dark Elves has turned. Hopefully we can grind this faction out very quickly and then just, like, make friends with the Lizardmen and have a nice solid southern border butting up against somebody who's not too likely to suddenly stab me in the back. Wouldn't that be neat? So come back next time to see if we can arrange that. And we'll see you then.